Ciao amici e benvenuti nella Peso sulla Luna. Hello friends, if this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, you can probably tell by my attempt at an Italian introduction to this video that this is my series in which I use Cercle de Lune adjacent or antique Italian decks to help me explore a topic that reveals itself within the video I record earlier from the first spread that I do each week. I do 2 spreads. These days, my first spread is a Thoth-based deck, a Thoth-based spread. A spread with cards based on the Thoth system. One of those is correct. So, I do that spread, I read that spread, and then I ask every week, what is the central message of the last, these days, 3-card spread? And that helps us to unpack that dense message that we get during the first reading. And so, I highly recommend that you go watch that first reading so you understand why I'm reading these cards in the way that I'm reading them. So I will put a card for you to click on up here. And you can click on that card, go watch that video, and then come back here because it will help you. And you don't have to watch that video in one sitting. You can split it up. There are no YouTube police coming to your door telling you you've got to finish watching this video, we're going to arrest you, right? You can do what you want. So, just in case you have watched that video and it's been a few days or maybe more, let me remind you. The title for that video was Creative Impulse. No, it wasn't Creative Impulses. What was it? Creative Inspiration. That's the ticket. Creative Inspiration. And it was a very fiery-based spread this week. Yeah? Associations to Aries and Sagittarius. We had 3 tarot cards that were all fire. It's a very fiery reading for nearing the beginning of Leo season. Yeah? And it was about our passions, about our inspiration, about being reflective on those inspirations that we get and not allowing wild and random inspirations to lead us off into the bushes. It was a very interesting reading, asking us to be reflective, to be practical, to allow ourselves to expand, all of those wonderful ideas. And so, I've done this week, this next spread, based on a very intriguing and interesting and beautiful deck. And what I will do now is I'm going to show you the entire spread. We'll talk about the entire spread briefly, and then we'll break it into its 2 major chunks and read those chunks together. Are you all ready? Here we go. Friends, do you recognize either of these decks? The Oracle deck below I've been using off and on for the last month or so. It's a wonderful Oracle deck. It's called the Poesis deck Oracle, the Poesis Oracle, and there'll be a link in the description box below. When I ordered the deck, there was no guidebook. So I'm reading this deck entirely intuitively. There is a guidebook now available, so you can make your decision. Get it just the deck or the deck and the guidebook. I have not seen the guidebook, so I neither recommend it nor say it's unnecessary. It's up to you. It probably is very beautifully and very poetically written. It's a lovely deck. It's got great card stock if you like rose petal finishes. It's not like rubber, very sticky rose petal. It will break itself in. over time. So it's a nice deck. Very thick, very strong cardstock. Very durable. Nice edging. Great deck. The cards above are from a tarot deck that is a recreation by the International Tarot Museum in Italy called Torre Fine dal Mundo. No, there will be a name in the description box below. Anyways, it's a wonderful deck. It's a big deck, and it's on art paper. So it's very, very flexible, but it's actually a fairly durable art paper, I believe. It shuffles, it's got a very interesting shuffle. It's a beautiful deck, and there will be, again, a link in the description box below. I highly recommend it. So, I will be reading these sets of 4 cards. You notice there were 4 above and 4 below, separately, right? So, let's look at the tarot cards more closely and read those cards together, right now. The 4 cards you saw from left to right were the 9 of Swords, the 10 of Cups, the King of Cups, and then the Ace of Wands. And you might be wondering, why are there 4 cards? Don't you usually do a 3-card spread? I try to do a 3-card spread. But did you notice that the King of Cups was looking off to the right of the spread? Reading left to right, off to the right. And so, now, frankly speaking, the people in this deck, well, here's what it's gorgeous backs, very interesting. This is what the backs of the cards look like. The king is, almost all of the figures are looking mostly pretty much face forward. If there is any directionality to the line of gaze, it's slight. The head is tilted just slightly to one side or the other. Yeah? So, in this card, the king's head is tilted slightly like this, right? So I thought, well, what's off to that side? And then we got the Ace of Wands card, which I thought was super appropriate, given all of the fire in the previous the previous spread, right? We're going to read this spread from left to right. We're going to read the spread. Actually, okay, we're reading from left to right, but we're going to begin with the king, because he's the figure. He's the figure, and we're curious who he is before we look at what is the king bringing forward. Yeah? So, what is the central message? Remember, the first card from the Thoth-based spread was the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is water of fire. So, we are watery here. Here we have the King of Cups, instead of the Queen of Wands, the King of Cups, which is fire of water. Water of fire, fire of water. Very interesting reflection, right? Now in Tarot de Marseille, who is the King of Cups? This is the King of wisdom from deep inner and outer knowledge. All of our experience brings us wisdom. Our internal experience of reflection and self-understanding and exploration, and also our experiences out in the world, they bring us wisdom, which is here highlighted in the King of Cups. We want to be the wise ones, right? We want to engage our compassion, control, and balance. We want to care about people. But we don't want to have their problems knock us off balance, right? We want to maintain our balance, be compassionate, and be in control. Not in control like grabbing hold of the reins and I'm not going to budge, not that kind of control. Control of, yes, I notice I'm moving this way, so I right myself, and I right myself, and I right myself. It's a fluid kind of control, being the King of Cups. We want to be big-hearted. Part of being compassionate, right? We want to be big-hearted. We want to be generous and give conscious love to those around us. Radiate our love. And that love is inspired by our joy of living. Enjoy the life that we're living here. And we want to enjoy the serenity of our mastered emotions. And again, we're not mastering our emotions by, nope, I can't feel that. Nope, we're not going to have that emotion. Nope, that's got to go away. Not that kind of mastery. It's not whipping our emotions into line. It's we master our emotions by allowing those things which can knock us off balance to flow out of our experience, to move beyond us, past us. We don't want to repress anything. We want to let it go, as they said in Frozen, right? We want to maintain our optimism. And we know that we can overcome our past injuries and look ahead, open to the new, with prudence. We're not the King of Swords who leaps into the unknown. We move forward optimistically and prudently. Because we're aware of who we are, aware of who we have around us, aware of the love and the joy and the possibility of our lives. Now, what is this King of Cups bringing forward? Interestingly, the King of Cups is bringing forward some interesting stuff. We bring forward the Nine of Swords, which is a perspective shift. It could be a loss of belief or broken ideologies, yeah? We have in the past, and maybe that's what has allowed us to mature here. We've had in the past some breaking in our mental and awareness spheres. Our ideologies have broken down. We've had to reevaluate. We've had to let go intellectually of the things in the past. That's what some of the nines are, right? It's the breaking down and the breaking apart, and here, letting go. We've also maybe had to break some old habits, old emotional habits, old physical habits like smoking, drinking, some things like that, but also intellectual habits of, no, this is right, and there is no other possibility. Habits of thought, habits of emotion, the breaking of all of those things. To be able to open up to become the King of Cups. Old concepts are brought into question. We've done that. And we continue to do that and allow ourselves to continue doing that as we mature into the King of Cups. Light has appeared after a long search, and the King of Cups follows that prudently. And the next step from this Nine of Swords was the Ten of Cups, which is what? It's finding peace, feeling completion after that shake-up, after that breakdown and breakthrough. It's preparing for the next steps, evolution in our emotional lives, which allows us to evolve into the King of Cups. And remember, King. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you're in a male body, a female body, a trans body, a cis body, an intersex body, if you consider yourself non-binary, all of that. We are all kings, we're all queens, we're all knights, we're all pages. We have all of that in each of us. And so, as we mature into our kingness of cups, we've gone through this process of the Ten of Cups. We've evolved in our emotional lives. We've discovered a modicum, if not a quantity, of universal love. Christ-like love, Buddha-like love. Yeah? Our heart has attained fullness and we have the possibility to concentrate on concrete actions to be taken with our open hearts, with our open understanding, and with our compassion and care for the other. As we have become the King of Cups, right? So that's all what this beautiful, powerful, open, compassionate, generous, joyful, optimistic King is carrying forward. Into what? Into this gorgeous Ace of Wands. Isn't this a gorgeous Ace of Wands? I love the colors in this deck. The King is moving forward into what? A new creation. A new creative inspiration. From this foundation of compassion, generous love, joy of living, and optimism, a new creation is coming. New desires, new movement. There's a potential of vital energy sparking forth. And we have the means to create and reproduce here. And we have the strength. We have the inner strength. We have the sexual potency. And a new area of creativity. But remember, all of these beautiful, beautiful aces, they are what? They are seeds. And these seeds can wither and die if we don't nourish them, nurture them. Give them what they need to grow and expand and become. To germinate and flourish. So the king is is looking in the direction of this Ace of Wands as being the next step of his, her, their evolution. Which seems to very, very beautifully reflect the ideas of this week's first spread, right? The passions developing, the new direction that the Queen and the Princess of Wands want to go in, leaping from the foundation of the Four of Wands. Yeah? Queen of Wands, water of fire, King of Cups, fire of water. And yes, for me, kings are fire, knights are air. That's that. Okay? Okay. So, this is the idea. This is a very interesting idea. Yeah, the king moving in the direction of the Ace of Swords, carrying forth the qualities of the Nine of Swords, having moved through the experiences of the Nine of Swords to develop the Ten of Cups as we become the King of Cups, we're moving in this direction. Now we've got 4 cards below from the Oracle deck, right? Let's take a look at those right now. You saw from left to right, we had 4 Oracle cards. Noise, fear, create, and joy. Noise, fear, create, and joy. Now, why are there 4 Oracle cards? Well, first, again, like I said, I pulled 3 cards, right? Noise, fear, and create. Perfectly fine. Could have left it there. But because there was that 4th tarot card above, I thought, what the heck? Maybe these can line up with the tarot cards above, and maybe I'll pull a 4th Oracle card to see how that lines up with that new Ace of Wands. And I pulled joy and I thought, okay, yeah, that's the way we want to go. So, the first card is noise. And we've seen this card before. If you've been with this channel and seen this deck before, we've seen this card before, noise. Which I said looks like some artwork that my mom used to have back in the 1970s when, I don't know if you remember this kind of very similar art. Not exactly the same, but very similar. And yet this card is called not art, but noise. What does that mean? To me, it means things like inner noise. Yeah, the chatter, the monkey mind, talking and talking and talking and talking. It's the egoic self-talk, which those of us who have the desire to lead an intentional life, we want to allow ourselves to rise above that monkey mind, to observe the monkey mind and not let it disturb us. Knowing that we are not that mind. That noise that happens inside of the head is not us. Right? That noise can also be external noise. It can be people chattering us from the outside. But remember, those people who are chattering at us from the outside are more than likely drawn to us because they are matching something within us. We have attracted them into our experience. There could be distractions, right? We might be letting talk of jealous we might be letting the talk of jealous or overprotective people to influence us here. Now, people who are jealous of our progress or are afraid that we're going to hurt ourselves if we keep going, we might be letting that noise disturb and distract us or prevent us from doing the stuff that we want to do. So those are the things that make me think of noise, especially when this card was right underneath the Nine of Swords card, right? Which was what? Things like breaking of old habits, breaking of a perspective shift, a loss of belief, which can all happen because of that noise inside or outside. But remembering that the Nine of Swords can also lead us through that experience. And we moved in the tarot cards through the experience of noise into the Ten of Cups, which was an opening, right? But below that Ten of Cups, there was what? This card of fear, which is grasping onto our worries and anxieties. Or it could be grasping onto other people's worries and anxieties. Remember, with that noise, if that noise is from the outside, we could be grabbing onto their passion, their pessimism, their fears, their distraught understandings. You'll also notice that what this hand is grasping between its fingers, his or their fingers, is skulls, right? Which are past and dead experiences that we just can't let go of. Old thoughts, old understandings, So even though we've moved into the Ten of Cups here, below this card, we still have that sense of, okay, so I'm evolving emotionally, I'm finding peace, I'm finding completion, but there's still this thing which I might not be fully aware of. This holding on to some habits of thought, habits of belief, fears, old dead ideas. I might still be, without knowing it, clutching onto those things. Right? And so the next card was create. Right? And here what we see this beautiful, looks like a sculpture that is in the process of being completed. We see some extra clay laying down there. And on the table, we see a carving tool, right? The nose is there, the lips are there, the eyes are not there. And tool, I should say there are 3 tools down there on the table. And there's that lump of clay that has been removed, but can also be added on to this thing. Using clay can be both a subtractive and an additive form of sculpting, right? It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So this card is below the King of Cups, right? So the King of Cups of wisdom from our deep and inner and outer knowledge, which we got from recognizing the experiences we've had, the inner noise, the outer noise, the stuff we've been clutching onto from the past. We recognize that, right? We recognize all of those things, and we've gained wisdom from those things, becoming the King of Cups. And we overcome the past injuries and look ahead, open to the new, open to what? To creation. And we have all the stuff that we need, just like in this picture, we have all the stuff that we need to create. And it could be some paring away of the stuff that we have to create the new. It could be adding to the thing that we're creating. It could be subtractive creation or additive creation. But we have everything that we need to do all of that work. As beings of the King of Cups, big-hearted, generous, joyfully living our lives, optimistic, balanced, right? At peace, compassionate, loving, big-heartedly, and creative. And from that stance, we move into what? The joy card. Now you see the sun shining there. We see a rainbow. You see the sun's tongue there. Taste the rainbow, right? Reminds me of a Skittles advertisement. You know Skittles, the candies, right? I don't eat them personally, but yeah, taste the rainbow. Joy. Our third eye, you see the sun has three eyes, right? The third eye is open and is able to, that far, okay, so we had an aspect of farsightedness in the first spread of this week, and that is, I think, echoed here. Our third eye is open. We're able to see far into the distance, into the future, into our inner universe as well. We have flowers here, flowers of abundance and happiness, the sun of success, associated with our new creation and our inspirations and our new desires and our new movement. All of that can be done with joy, which is the joy was also indicated in the King of Cups card, right? Joy of living. Here, the joy of creation, of creativity, the sun of success, feeding the success, feeding our creativity. What a way to live. What a way to live a week if we can do that. And I think we have that potential. I think the cards are pointing in that direction. Do you agree? If you do, let me know in the comments below. If you do not, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. So friends, thank you. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up button. Thank you for subscribing. You help the channel and you help other people find the channel when you do that. You are a blessing to other people as well. Thank you. You support the community. And also, if you want a reading from me, my email address is below. Shoot me an email to thehangedmaninthemoon@gmail.com and we'll get you a reading. Also, I wish you now, as always, love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.